Okay, so like I said, we're going to be starting with the describing data unit, which is statistics. Now on these first few pages are just some vocabulary that we'll be learning throughout the unit, so I'm not going to sit here right now and read through them all, because that would just be a waste of time. We will learn them as we go through the unit. Okay, so you go ahead and flip over to page 4. Alright, today we're going to be talking about mean, median, mode, and they didn't include it in this worksheet, but we definitely need to cover it. We're also going to be talking about range. So go ahead and add that in. We're talking about mean, median, mode, and range. Okay, the mean is the blank of a set of values. What word do you think I could fill in right there? Average, okay? The mean is just the average of a set of values. That is the sum of the values divided by the number of values. Okay? You've probably been finding the mean for a while now. The median is the blank when the values are arranged in order. The middle number. This line's kind of short, so let's squeeze it in. Middle number, middle value, you could write it there. Okay, the mode is the value that occurs the most. Okay, we're going to do stem and leaf plots tomorrow, but I'll go and read this statement. In a stem and leaf plot, every digit except the last digit is arranged vertically in ascending order, top to bottom. And we'll do some of those tomorrow. Okay, now back to median. If there is an odd number of values, so like if you're given a data set and there's an odd number of values, like 5, 7, 9, 11, you all know what an odd number is. The median is the middle value after all values have been arranged in order. But are we always going to be given data with an odd amount of values? No. Sometimes there may be data that has an even number of values. Does anybody remember how to find the median when there's an even? Yes? Right. You add the two middle numbers together and divide by 2, which is basically just what? Finding the what? The average. Okay, in adding the 2 and dividing by 2, just averaging those two numbers. So anytime there's an even amount of data, to find the median, you just take the average of the two middle numbers. Okay, now let's talk some more about mode. In a data set, it is possible to have no mode. That would mean none of the numbers repeat. Or you could have one mode, or sometimes you can have more than one mode. Okay, so let's try this first example. They've given some data about your neighbor's pets. Like one of the neighbors only has one pet. This neighbor has 8 pets. That would be a little concerning. This neighbor has 2 pets, 5 pets, and 4 pets. The first thing they want you to do is find the mean. So what do we need to do? Add them all up. So 1 plus 8 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4 adds up to 20. So that's the sum. But then that's not the mean, that's the sum. What do we have to do to find the mean? Right, divided by 5, because there's 5 different neighbors that have been surveyed, and so the mean number of pets is 4. Okay, now they want us to find the median. How do we find the median? But there's something else. So does that mean 2 is the median? You gotta put them in order from least to greatest. So let's reorder them. What will that look like? Okay, now that you've arranged them in order from least to greatest, now what's the middle number? 4. So 4 is the median. Okay, what about a mode? Is there a number that occurs the most? No. So this is a case of no mode. And then we're also going to be doing range, so I'm just going to add in range. And go back and put a little note about range. Right here, let's put it. The range is the largest value minus the smallest value. Okay, so in this scenario, what is our largest value? 8. And then minus, what's our smallest value? So the range is 7. Okay? Alright, once you've copied that, go and flip to the next page. Okay, on the next page, the directions for 1 through 9 want you to find the mean, median, mode, and then we're also going to add in range. So on each of these answers, you're going to have 4 different values, because you're going to have the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. But instead of just doing it like we just did example 1, we're going to make it a little more fun. We're going to turn it into a game. So I'm going to need 3 volunteers. Okay, I saw you first, you, and I'll learn your names in a minute. So you, one of you go to that board, one of you go to that board, and one of you go to the smart board. Okay, and for now. Okay, so to find the mean, you would have taken your calculator, added up those numbers. So 22 plus 25 plus 26 plus 21 plus 25 plus 22. Okay. Oops, I have a typo. Oh, 2 typos. Okay, then always go back and check your number. 23, 22, 23, 22, 25, 21, 26. Because one little mistake will mess up the whole answer. And then 25, 22. Okay, now, the first thing I'm going to do is hit enter to find the sum. Those numbers add up to 209. But they don't want to just know the sum, they want to know the average, the mean. So what do I now do? Divided by 9, there's 9 numbers. 23.22. Now, let me show you a common mistake that students will make. This is what I see students do all the time. They'll do 22 plus 20, wow, that's easy. Plus 25 plus 26 plus 21 plus 25 plus 22 plus 23 plus 22. One more 23 at the end. Okay, so everything I've done so far is the same as I did on the first time. But now look, I'm going to just try to save myself some time and right here hit divided by 9. But I do not get the same answer. What went wrong? Why can I not just divide by 9 at the end of that problem? Right, it only divided that last 23 by 9. It didn't divide all of these numbers by 9. It just divided the very last number by 9. Okay, let me show you with a shorter list so you can see it on the whole screen. Let's make up some grades. Let's say on your first test, hold on, I'm trying to clear all this. Okay, let's say on your first test you make a 95. On your second test, you make an 80. Third test, 85. Fourth test, not so good, you make a 70. Fifth test, you bring it back up to 85. If those are the only 5 grades in the grade book, and it's time for report cards to come out, what would you guess your grade is going to be about?
Around 85.
Maybe in the 80s, right? Okay, so you would just sum them up, divide it by how many tests you took, which was 5, and that lets you know that your current grade in the class is 83. Okay? Well, watch this. If I try to just do it all on one line, okay, so So I've typed in the same list of tests, but then divided by 5. I get something totally different, right? Would that even make sense that if you made these grades on your test, that your grade in the class would be a 347? No. So what went wrong here is that only the 85 is being divided by 5. None of this is being divided by 5 at all. If you do want to keep it all on the same line, what would you have to put? Parentheses. Watch. If I type it all in, but I put it inside parentheses, there are some calculators where it would understand what you were doing, but this one, you have to show the calculator that all of this is divided by 5. And to show the calculator that, you got to put it in parentheses. Those parentheses let the calculator know that you're not just dividing 85 by 5, you're dividing all of it by 5. Because see, now with those parentheses, I get back to the right answer. So honestly, I would just try to stay in that habit of add them up, then on the next line, hit divided by whatever. Okay? And then you won't run into problems. Okay, so now let's look at another. Who wants to go next? Okay, you can go, you can go. Anybody else? Okay, go ahead. Okay, number 7. All of these are fractions, so let's go to our calculator. Okay, if your calculator screen has stuff all over it, just hit clear. Okay, now, you're going to hit this green button over in the left column that says alpha, and then that A will flash on your screen letting you know you hit it. And then if you go up 2 buttons, see this Y equals? And then what do you think we could use to type in a fraction? The first one. So you can either hit 1, or since it's already on it, you can just hit enter. And then it sets you up a fraction. So type in the first fraction, which is 5/6. And then plus, and do it again. Alpha y equals number 1. And the second fraction is 2/3. And then you just continue that process of alpha y equals using number 1. Type in the rest of the fractions. So 1/4. Yeah. Or delete, we'll delete one item. Clear clears everything. Right here at the top, see where I'm circling on DEL? Not yet. Let everybody have a chance to at least do this. Oh, like, look, I made a mistake. I accidentally hit divided by, so if I just want to hit back and highlight it and hit delete, it'll go away. Now I can arrow over and go back down and put my 4 in. You must have forgotten to arrow over before creating another fraction. Bring it up here so I can see.
Yeah, hit plus.
Yeah, are you hitting plus between each one? If you're having problems, let me know. Okay, now remember, once we hit enter, that's just the sum. That's not the answer. We're trying to find the average, so now what do we have to do? Divide it by 5, and so the average is 7/15. Now, say that you're taking the test and it's multiple choice, and all of the answers are decimals. Let me show you how the calculator can quickly turn this into a decimal. See over here below alpha, the math button? If you hit it, what button do you think you would press to turn something into a decimal?
2.
Number 2. And then once it's on the screen, see it says answer becomes a decimal, and you have to hit enter for it to happen. 0.46, so that would round to 0.47. You just use the division button? Yeah, that's fine. So like say that you ended up with a decimal, but all the choices on the test were fraction, you would need to hit math and then fraction to get it to fraction. Okay, and it'll turn it back for you. Okay? Or you can just hit 7 divided by 15 once it pops up on your screen, and it'll also change to decimal. Okay, now let's talk about how to type in these mixed numbers. Okay, is everybody with me? Okay, so you're going to type in alpha y equals again, but this time for a mixed number, which one do you think we're going to use? Number 2. Okay, you have your whole number and then your fraction, so number 2. And then see how it sets up a nice mixed number? And you just type in the numbers. So 3 1/2. And then just continue that process. Alpha y equals number 2. And type in your next mixed number, 12 2/3. A lot of mixed numbers to type in. Okay, and then equals. Okay, but is that our final answer? No, that's just the sum of all of the numbers. So what do we now have to do to find the average? Divided by 6, the number of values you typed in. And so the answer is 701/90. What if you want that as a decimal? What could you do? You can either type in 701 divided by 90 and hit enter, or if you just hit math, decimal, enter, it'll change it to a decimal. So you can write either one on your paper. Math and then decimal, yes. And then you always have to hit enter to get it to do it. Okay, so 701/90. Or the decimal if you prefer to write that. Okay, so now we've done mean for all of these. Now let's look at median. How is it you find median? Right? Okay, so look at this first list. They're already in order, right? Is there one number exactly in the middle? Yeah, this 9 is the middle number, right? Because there's 3 numbers to the left of it and 3 numbers to the right of it. So for this problem number 1, the median is 9. For problem number 2, the median is not so easy because we have to do what first? Put them in order. So what would come first? Then, okay, there's 3 of those. Then, 3 38s, right? And once you put them in order, it makes it even easier to spot the modes also. And then 92. Any ideas what we would call that 92 in this list of data? An outlier. Because it's way far from the rest of the data, right? It's called an outlier. Okay, so median. Is there exactly one middle number here? How many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's not exactly one middle, right? Is there 2? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How is it that you find the median when there's 2 middle?
Add them and then divide by 2.
Okay, so what's 26 plus 38? Okay, and when you divide that by 2? 32. So your middle number, your median is 32. Okay, now let me show you something else that the calculator will do for you. Okay, go to your calculator, clear the screen. Okay, now hit stat. Okay, everybody pay attention because this is going to be helpful. Hit stat, which is right here where I'm hovering, right below delete. Now we're wanting to enter in information, so I want to go to edit. It's already on edit, so I can just hit enter. Now this is from last period, so we're going to clear this data. Everybody go up. See how I've darkened L1? Hit clear, and then when I go back down, it clears the whole list. I just went up, hit clear, and when I went back down, the whole list cleared. Now we're going to put in the data for number 6. Okay, so let's type in the data for number 6. 22, 25, 26, 21, 25. Did I? Okay. I just go up and delete one of them. Okay. Are you hitting enter? Yeah, hit enter each time. Bring it up here so I can see it. Bring it up here so I can see it if it's doing it wrong.
My thumb was on the list. So like,
Hold on, I'll come look. Okay, so does everybody now have their data entered in? Okay, now that the data is entered in, you're going to hit stat again. But this time, we're no longer editing. We've entered the information. We're ready to do something with it. So you go over to calc for calculate. Now, this is just one list of data. So it's one variable statistics because we're only given one list of data. So on number 1, hit enter. Didn't we put our list in L1? We're not dealing with frequency lists yet, so you can just skip that. Go down to calculate and hit enter. And you're going to see a lot of stuff on the screen. Now, what is the mean for number 6 that we got when we did it the other way? Well, look, 23.22. Look, 23.22. X bar. Well, if you have a lot of data, this might be a better option. But like a short amount of data, you probably just add it up real quick and divide it. Okay, but X bar is the symbol for mean. Okay, so see how that gives you your mean? N equals 9 means we entered 9 numbers. This means sum. When you added them all up earlier, didn't they add up to 209? Okay, that's the sum. That's it squared. Okay, now, the minimum number is 21. Is it the lowest number in that list, 21? Okay, Q1 and Q3 we'll talk about later. But that's when you're really going to want to know how to do it in the calculator when we get to that stuff. We'll look right here what they give us. The median, 23. Okay, so for number 6, we can write down that the median is 23. Now, the calculator does not do mode for you. Okay, so you have to do mode on your own. What's the mode of number 6?
22.
Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3 22s. So 22 is the mode. The calculator won't do mode for you. And it doesn't spit out the range for you, but what it does give you is the max and the min. And don't you just subtract those? So what's 26 minus 21? 5. Okay? And right now with these problems, you're probably just going to do it the other way. But you're going to need to know how to do stat edit and stat calc for later in this unit. Okay, so what I want you to do tonight is finish 1 through 9 for homework. Okay, so we found the mean on all of them. We finished number 6, it's good. But you need to go through and finish finding the median, the mode, and the range for the rest of them. Your calculator on your phone will be sufficient for these. Okay, it'll even do these when you turn it sideways. Okay, so finish 1 through 9 for homework.